basic attribute of good governance and long-term peace is to share the benefits of peace without ethnic distinction and as one. The day 18th May 2009 marked the end of a 3-decade-long brutal war, and our endeavor is to maintain the hard-earned peace for the benefit of future generations. In the Jaffna Peninsula alone, 30,164 families consisting of 118,367 members were displaced due to the internal conflict. They were given shelter in 218 welfare centers by the government of Sri Lanka. These numbers fluctuated from time to time, and after the liberation of the Jaffna Peninsula on completion of Operation Revirasa, the majority of the displaced civilians were resettled. This resulted in the reduction in the number of welfare centers. With the end of the humanitarian operation, the number of displaced civilians decreased rapidly, but 971 families remained in 31 welfare centers. His Excellency the President Maithripala Sirisena and his government, after studying the prevalent situation, directed that the people of the north should not live in shelters any further, and that they should all be resettled in a land and house of their own. The commander of the Sri Lanka Army, having fully understood the importance of this task to support the national reconciliation process, immediately initiated action to implement the direction of His Excellency the President. On the instructions of the Commander of the Army, Major General Mahesh Sennaika, the Commander Security Forces Jaffna drafted and presented a comprehensive plan to overcome this Herculean challenge. The plan was then approved by the Commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Krishantha De Silva, and the Minister of Defence gave the green light to implement the plan by utilizing the skills and resources of the military. To commence the project, the Ministry of Defence, under the guidance and supervision of the Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Engineer Karunasena Hettiarachchi, released 47 acres of state land for the project. In the first stage, it was planned to separate 133 blocks of land to construct 100 houses. In this endeavour, the Sri Lanka Army, taking into consideration the culture and preferences of the people of Jaffna, designed 5 house plans, which were then submitted to a selection committee headed by the Divisional Secretary of Jaffna. Thereafter, work on the project auspiciously commenced on 11th July 2016. On completion, each recipient would get a 720 square foot house with a land extent of 20 perches valued at a total of rupees 4.2 million. With the construction of the houses commencing in Keeramalai, the troops of the Sri Lanka Army worked hand in hand with the recipients and maintained a cordial relationship with the people whilst respecting their cultural and religious beliefs. Though the initial estimate for a house was rupees 2.1 million, with the assistance of Prison Reforms, Rehabilitation, Resettlement and Hindu Religious Affairs Ministry, the Divisional Secretary Jaffna, and the utilization of manpower, technical knowledge, skills and other necessary resources of the Army, the cost of a house was reduced to rupees 900,000. As a result, approximately rupees 120 million of government funds were saved. The Sri Lanka Army put in 540,000 hours of manpower, valued at rupees 120.5 million, produced 220,000 cement blocks, and handled all the carpentry, plumbing and wiring of the houses, which resulted in the successful completion of the project. In addition to receiving a house and a land, the recipients will be benefited by the road network, water supply, power supply, community centers, playground and a medical center provided with the assistance of the Army. The ultimate aim of this project was to give the displaced civilians a better life. The Sri Lanka Army, in successfully completing this undertaking, has displayed their professionalism, skill levels and its unwavering commitment to support the government of Sri Lanka in its endeavour towards reconciliation and lasting peace in our beloved motherland.